head down here, so you determine your working length. Here's a couple of things. What does it say here? Read that.
If adjustment from measurement to the wire measurement to the working length is 2 mm or greater, a new adjusted working measurement film must be made until the adjustment from wire measurement to working length is less than 2 mm.
So that is an important point. If your change, so on this little formula on that sheet that we have here, should never be 2 or greater, because if it's 2 millimeters or greater, you need to make the adjustment and take another x-ray, right? So that's going to be always less than 2 millimeters. So why is that the case? Well, the reason that is the case is that there's a certain amount of distortion in every one of these x-rays, and if it's, 10% distortion of less than 2 millimeters is a pretty small number, but if you're making a 4 or 5 millimeter correction with a 10% error, it turns into a bigger number, a number that's not appropriate, So it has to be pretty close on the x-ray within, so that your change is less than 2 millimeters. But the other thing is, which I think it says there,
a wire measurement radiograph showing the file at exact working length is not needed as long as the adjustment from wire measurement to working length is less than 2 mm.
correct. So in other words, you don't have to keep taking x-rays until you have the perfect one where the wire measurement equals the working length. That would be exposing the patient to unnecessary radiation. So I want to point this out for next week. You're going to have a sheet like this. It asks here for excellent correct working length, 0.5 to 1 millimeter from the apex. Well, that asks for the working length, doesn't it? It doesn't ask that the wire measurement x-ray be ideal, So in other words, if you make the right correction, your working length is correct, even though your wire measurement is 1.5 millimeters off. See what I mean? So it's not asking you if the wire measurement is correct, it's asking you if the working length correct. In other words, is your calculation correct?
Even if it's past the apex, 2 millimeters is fine?
So if it's past the apex 2 millimeters, what do you need to do?
New x-ray.
Subtract 3 millimeters.
No, you need a new x-ray.
He said it correct. Well,
No.
Subtract 3
how
millimeters.
much? 3
3
millimeters.
millimeters.
And take another x-ray.
That's
Take
correct.
another x-ray.
Do you hear that? So in other words, 2 millimeters will get you to the tip of the root, 3 millimeters will get you one back, right? And then take another x-ray.
Okay.
And then throw away that first one and just don't use that first one, right? Till you get the change to less than 2 millimeters.
So if it's 2 millimeters short of the apex, then
Add one.
Then you add one.
How much do you
You
add?
don't have to
One.
take an x-ray.
Add
2,
one.
but 2 is fine, right? If it's more than 2, then you have to adjust it.
So if the change is 2 or more, you have to adjust it.
Yeah.
But so in this case, the change is going to be 1 millimeter, right? So that's acceptable.
Okay.
The change has to be less than 2 millimeters. So that's an important thing that many people don't get, so it's really good to iron that out right here, right now. Everybody's got that, right? Okay, good.